Thank you for tuning into the Papi Chulo channel. My name is Chris. Today we have a 20-year-old pair of SB Dunks where the original owner had cut the straps and they had also cut into the tongue and removed a bunch of the foam. So we are going to fix this tongue up. We're going to replace those straps. We're going to get that tongue nice and SB Dunk fat again. We're going to make this tongue great again. We are lucky enough to have a donor that is the same exact shoe, same exact size. The customer got a really good deal on the other pair. He wants to put the outsole on the pair that he already had, on the pair that he just got. So that's what we're doing. In order to remove the outsole on a cupsole shoe and protect the upper, really, you should only be messing with the thread. You can go inside and find the thread ends and pull them out with a hook tool. And then there's two threads. There's an outer thread and a back stitch. So you're just pulling the back stitch out one loop at a time and then unhooking it. And then you're just doing that over and over and over. Now, the reason why restorers will charge more for sole swaps, for one, is we have to do this 4 times now instead of 2. Nine times out of 10 for an older Dunk, an older Jordan 1, you're not going to need to apply any heat to remove the outsole once you have that thread removed. The glue is so old that all you need to do is just pull it apart and it should come off pretty easily. Every once in the blue moon, you'll need to use the oven method, which is low heat. Check every 5 minutes. I do 170. I had to do that for the Skeletors, but most times you really don't need to heat the shoe up. Always start this process with a brand new X-Acto knife. Switch out your old one because you want it to be nice and sharp. The way I'm cutting this, I'm trying to cut in a half circle motion so I don't cut towards my other hand, but you're just cutting the old glue off. The reason you do this is because if you Dremel it, the Dremel is just going to heat it up and embed it more into the material, so you really need to remove it this way. Now you can use the Dremel tool with your drum sander, probably about 80 grit. Make sure you're going under that glue line and using a precision back and forth motion. This should be a pretty clean process if you removed all of the old glue. If there's still glue on there, the glue is going to get onto the drum sander and it's going to start to be a mess. At first, I was using a heat gun on the tongue to get that glue nice and fluid to see if I could remove the old foam that way, but I gotta tell you, this way was taking forever. See? I mean, I would have been here for hours doing that. But then I realized you can just turn the tongue inside out. So I turned the tongue inside out without much stress on the tongue. That's how they build the tongue anyway. So now that I have access to all the foam, I can just use a disposable razor and remove it all very easily. I ordered the straps based on color and width, but there was different strengths that you could get. I got medium. It was just kind of a guess, but it turned out to be dead on. It was almost a 1-to-1 replacement for that 20-year-old SB strap. If you're interested in learning how I order sneaker parts like air units, outsoles, air units that fit perfectly into the outsoles, Jordan 4 wings, check out the video in the top right corner. Here I have a sheet of 1/4-inch open cell polyurethane foam. The plan here is to use a pattern and cut 8 pieces of this foam to make up 4 pieces per tongue, or 2 inches of foam, which will squish down to less than an inch, which I think is perfect for the SB tongue. I will say though, I think next time I might do 3, because this is great if you need more room for your feet, but if you want to really replicate that dunk tongue, I think maybe 4 might be one too many. I use contact cement both sides of all pieces of foam and both sides of the interior of the tongue, one at a time, one layer at a time. I put 2 pieces of foam on one side and 2 pieces of foam on the other side. That way, when I flip the tongue back outside in, it will be an even flip. I found that in order to flip it outside in evenly, just go into one corner of the tongue and push that in, and then push the top corner of the other side, and then just push them both in. And without much resistance, you should have no problem turning it back outside in. Reshaping the tongue, I grab a towel and put it over the tongue, and I grab my adorable tiny iron and reshape the tongue. If the foam formed any lumps, they ain't there anymore. I use a hook, needle, and thread to sew that hole back up that the previous owner cut to take the foam out, and seal it up with some fire. Demoing all the pieces left from the old cut straps, that way I have a nice clean area to work with. Then I measure the straps on the donor pair to see how long they are, and also try to figure out how much extra I need to fold inwards. There may be other ways to do this. If you don't want to use fire, find another way. But if you cut these straps, you really want to protect them from fraying. And the only way that I know how to do it is by burning the ends. I folded the ends inwards and used contact cement and then kept them overnight under masking tape. That way they got dry. It makes for a nice rigid support for your stitch line. I'm using contact cement just to place the straps where I want them to be while I'm sewing, because sometimes when you're sewing you feel like you need 8 hands. It does help, but it's obviously not something to permanently hold the straps. So there was this other camera I was using supplemental angles, and I realized today when I'm editing this video that it was in slow motion. It looks very dramatic, but there's no sound on the slow motion, and I also learned that I stick my tongue out when I'm concentrating, much like Michael Jordan. Yes, I just compared myself to Michael Jordan. After I seal up the loose threads, I do a strength test. This thing should be nice and strong right out of the gate. Using acetone to remove the old glue on the outsoles. This is the first time in the whole project that I used any solvents at all. I prefer these makeup removers over cotton balls because they can hold more acetone, there's more surface area, and they don't break apart like cotton balls do. There was 2 different kinds of glue on this, and one of them was just not getting removed with acetone, so I had to basically shave it off. But obviously you need to be very careful because you don't get another donor of a 20-year-old shoe. Using masking tape to protect the upper when I apply the adhesion promoter and the glue. I put it right on that glue line all the way around the perimeter of the upper. So I only brought the stupid slow-mo cam into the extra bathroom I have here, but we're just gonna have to deal. The extra bathroom I use because it has ventilation. You should shake the can of adhesion promoter for a full minute before your first spray. I spray 3 times. This is my marker for editing. This is the first spray. And then I set a timer for 10 minutes, and then I come back and spray a second time. On the third time, you notice I'm wearing my gloves because after the third spray, you need to apply your top coat, aka the glue. This product, adhesion promoter, is also for auto paint, so that's why it says top coat on the can. Our top coat is the glue. The glue that I'm using here is water-based. It's called Renia 130. I loved this glue. I loved the idea of it with no VOCs. The issue that I'm having with it now, though, is that you really have to get it hot in order for it to make its bond. It has to be 176 degrees, and for some materials that is just too hot. You're also required to apply 15 to 20 pounds of pressure for 30 seconds for every section that you're trying to bond. This is really for a commercial setting where you have a lot of things in control and you have a shoe press. Me, just using my little bone folder, I think that the glue is a little too high maintenance for a one-man shop that does not have a heat conveyor or shoe press. This eraser is called a crepe and it's for glue. It's for removing glue. Link in the description below. Re-dyeing suede, I highly recommend using suede dye. Suede dye is alcohol based and dries faster, and also using an airbrush, which also dries out the material as it comes out, providing better protection for the suede during the process. You may notice this red is a bit on the cherry side, but no big deal. My second coat, I mixed in some purple and it came out to the exact color that I wanted. And now my favorite part. This really is my favorite part of doing a cupsole reglue, cupsole sole swap. I love using this machine. It saves me so much time. Link in the description below, and I also have a video tutorial on how to use it for cupsoles.